What up, YouTube Nation? This is NYG Jeffy T3285 back with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about who I believe and who I'm picking to be my 2022 bounce back player for the New York Football Giants. And that is Leonard Williams, defensive end slash defensive tackle, number 99 for Big Blue. Now, Leonard Williams was originally drafted by the New York Jets at the number 6 pick in the 2015 draft and was one of the best players coming out of that draft by a lot of experts. He was going to come in and potentially be a big-time force in terms of a pass rusher coming out of USC at the inside of that defensive system for Todd Bowles. Now, Leonard Williams ended up struggling a little bit at the beginning of his career for the Jets and had a lot of high expectations that he wasn't meeting for his first few seasons, until about his third or fourth season when he started to emerge in the middle of that New York Jets defense and acquitted for about 5 or 6 sacks. Then in 2019, Dave Gettleman picked up the phone and ended up at the trade deadline trading for Leonard Williams for a 2020 third-round pick, which ended up becoming Darnay Holmes, and a 2021 conditional fourth-round pick, which I believe the New York Giants traded later on in that season. Leonard Williams had a lot of expectations coming into a team that was still trying to find themselves and try to find a way to win, that was struggling in terms of the pass rush. His 2019 season, he had a pretty good season. He got about 3 or 4 sacks during that season, but it wasn't until 2020 when Leonard Williams truly started to blow up for that New York Giants defense. And with the help of Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle and Dexter Lawrence on the other side of the defensive line, Leonard Williams ended up having the best season of his career, getting 11 sacks. And it ended up helping getting him a big payday when he became a free agent in 2021. The New York Giants ended up signing Leonard Williams to a 3-year, $65 million deal to lock him up as one of the New York Giants' cornerstones on that defensive line and the defense for the coming years. Leonard Williams had a lot of expectations coming into the season for 2021. But unfortunately, he still played pretty well, but the loss of Dalvin Tomlinson in free agency, and also the fact that Leonard Williams was being double-teamed a lot on the line without a premier pass rusher on the outside, except for rookie Azeez Ojulari, banged-up veteran Lorenzo Carter, underwhelming outside linebacker Oshane Ximines, and Dexter Lawrence himself, who was more of a run-stuffer, if anything, than a pass rusher on the defensive line. Leonard Williams only ended up getting 6.5 sacks in the 2021 season. So in the fans' eye, it was a down season, even though his play didn't really dictate that it was truly a down season. Now, he might get a little bit more help coming into the 2022 season. The reason why I picked him as a comeback player is because the New York Giants recently just acquired defensive tackle Justin Ellis from the Baltimore Ravens, who is known to eat up the double teams in the inside and may provide the ability to create some rush in the inside and stuff the run, and could get some double teams, which could allow Leonard Williams to open up on the outside and be able to get one-on-ones against the offensive tackles or the offensive guards. And also the emergence of Azeez Ojulari, the rookie out of Georgia, who got 8 sacks in his rookie season, could potentially open up more things for Leonard Williams. And with the fact the New York Giants have the number 5 and the number 7 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, could only make things even better if the New York Giants could find a way to snag one of these premier pass rushers out of the draft, like a Kayvon Thibodeau, if he falls, an Aiden Hutchinson, a Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State, a David Ojabo maybe a little bit later in the draft, maybe even a George Karlaftis, just to add some pass rush punch to that defensive line that is sorely needed, since the Giants have not really had a premier pass rusher at the outside linebacker or the defensive end position since Jason Pierre-Paul left the team in 2018. So, that's the best way to see if Leonard Williams will in fact be able to get back to his 2020 form, which he still had a pretty decent season in 2021, just not to the standards maybe in terms of sacks, but his pressures were still pretty good throughout the season. It's just the Giants need to find a way to acquire another pass rusher in this upcoming draft to be able to take some pressure off of Leonard Williams, even Azeez Ojulari. Maybe you get Ellerson Smith, who was pretty much banged up throughout a lot of his rookie season, if they can find a way to position him either as an outside stand-up, outside linebacker, or if they put him at the defensive end position, maybe he can emerge as somebody. Maybe you can get a little bit more out of Quincy Roche, who they ended up picking up at the end of the preseason as a draft cut, and they put him on the roster, and he ended up playing pretty solid for the New York Giants, including winning one of the games that they played. So it's really just up to not just Leonard Williams himself, because I'm sure he's going to do everything he can to bounce back after what, for him, he probably felt was a poor and down 2021 season. And with the fact he's got that big contract, that if he doesn't perform to his complete standards, there's a possibility that Leonard Williams might not be on this roster in 2023, because the Giants can get out of his contract if possible if he has a down year, because it's not going to be as large of a cap hit compared to what it was this year. So it's really just going to depend on if they can find some ways to help get some more pass rush on the outside when in terms of drafting a premier pass rusher. If Azeez Ojulari can back up his 8-sack rookie performance, if Dexter Lawrence maybe become more of a consistent pass rusher to help it on the defensive line, and if Leonard Williams himself can find a way to beat some of those double teams at the defensive end, or even if they move him inside to the defensive tackle position, if they do switch it up from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense on different schemes, then maybe he could find a way to get more pressure on the quarterback, and it can end up getting his sack numbers to rise up a little bit more. It's just going to be a very key season for Leonard Williams, not only for his job on the New York Giants past 2022, but he's a very big, important key cog to this defense. And if he can find a way to recapture his numbers that he had in 2020, the New York Giants defense is going to be a lot better for it, because it's only going to help out the outside linebackers. It's only going to help out their secondary, because if you can get pressure on the quarterback, it's going to make it a lot easier for the cornerbacks to cover the wide receivers. It's going to help the safeties cover the tight ends or even some of the slot wide receivers. And it's going to help out the entire defense as a whole. So that's just my quick opinion of who I feel is going to have a bounce back season, being Leonard Williams. I think he's just ready to bounce back, especially if we can get that premier pass rusher on the outside, and if Azeez Ojulari can continue to take the next step in his second year. Leonard Williams can go back to being the player that we thought we got when we signed him to that big 3-year, $65 million deal. So I hope if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T 3285. And leave a comment below if you feel that Leonard Williams will in fact bounce back from the 2021 down season that many fans believe he had. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and let's go Big Blue.